So today is day 22 of the D-Rose Sneaker Challenge, which means I got another review for y'all. But what shoe might it be today? Well, you can see it's a 1.5 already by the title, so let's get into it. So before we had the release of the D-Rose 1.5 Resto Mods, 1 Resto Mods, 4 Resto Mods, or any of the Son of Shy pairs, Derek's shoes were coming in a regular Adidas box, even the retros they would do. So for example, this is the box for the pair of D-Rose 1.5 retros, but this isn't a Resto Mod pair we're going to be taking a look at today. And this pair as well too, based off the label you can see, is actually from China. So this is not, one like the American labels or even like a Philippines label or anything like that. This is the label they used over in China for the Rose line. And, well, not just the Rose line, it's fully for any Adidas shoe. And this is the colorway we're taking a look at today. So this is that, tan colorway of the D-Rose 1.5 retros. And this shoe, honestly, in this colorway is one of my favorite 1.5 colorways that we've gotten in recent years, including the Resto Mod colorways that we've had. This is also a colorway that's very hard for people to find. Originally, I saw these on a website called Kixify years ago, back in like 2019, 2020 when these actually released. And I wanted to cop a pair of them, but I never did. And they originally were just sitting on there for about $130, but eventually they start upping the price and they start selling out of sizes. And so they no longer had them in my size, and they were selling them for almost $200. But thankfully, I did a little hunting online. I found that Kixify wasn't the only place that had these. Actually, website that I've talked to you guys about earlier this month called Kicks Crew had these shoes for sale, and they had them in my size. I think I only paid a little bit over $140 for these, maybe $150, which if these had came stateside, this would have been the retail price for these, because I believe when they did the Resto Mod, or not even the Resto Mod, but they did just the regular retro for these, they did retail these at $160 still. So when you order a shoe from Kicks Crew, guys, let's kind of talk about that first. You see that it comes with this tag, that this is this little rubber hang tag that says Kicks Crew on it, and then this is a little tag here as well. Now on here, it's a QR code, which you can scan, and when you scan it, it ends up pulling up for you the information about it being, verified and being, official and legitimate pair. And then the other side of the shoe, there's another tag here, and this tag says Kicks Crews disclaims all liability if tag is removed, www.kickscrew.com. You have that same thing on the back here, which just says Kicks Crew verified. So this is basically removing your StockX tag, or a GOAT tag, or a Flight Club tag, or anything of that nature. So that's what it kind of comes down to when it comes to this shoe. But what I will say to you guys is that when it comes to this colorway, material-wise, the leather on here is and it's a synthetic leather, but it has this real premium feel to it that is really nice. I mean, and you kind of can see, with the Sprint, well, this is actually the Sprint Skin Upper, that basically has the layering of this. The Sprint Skin really is what you see here, whereas this material on top usually is the synthetic that they've overlaid with it. And on here, it's this leather that feels just really nice. And I mean, it also has that look to it where it actually has the creases in it, and it looks dried in spots. I honestly can't say for certain whether or not that this is a synthetic leather on here. It does feel much more premium than anything that you would get usually with a synthetic leather though. And I think that really helps to this colorway's benefit too, because it just has this real nice look to it. So when you look at the D-Rose 1.5 retros they started doing, and you go through the tech specs and stuff of it, it's all like it was in the original. You have your Sprint Skin for your upper, you have the Sprint Frame for your heel piece that keeps your foot back in the heel. Your midsole is just a regular EVA, so this is not Adiprene, and this is not Light Strike. It's just a regular EVA midsole. Your traction on your outsole is still the same. So you have that next generation Pure Motion highlighted with the, it was at the current time it was the next generation Pure Motion, but this is technically the older version of Pure Motion with the Cilia traction pads here as well too. 3 stripes on the heel, so this last thing you see is D-Rose blows past you. You got them in gray here too as well, which I really should say it's silver. And I don't really mind that actually. I think the silver has a nice hit to it because it has this metallic look, and that's also part of the signature there on the heel and the Adizero branding. And then when it comes to the aglets, or the lace holes, I would say here too, these are silver and it kind of ties all together. Same with your Adidas branding here below the, right above the toe box and on the tongue. And the tongue on these, unlike a lot of the Resto Mod pairs, actually does have something different here than it did on the Resto Mods, but was something that was on some of the original colorways of the 1.5s, which is that instead of having the D and the R for D Rose in here, you have 773, which is his area code in Chicago, and you have Adizero Rose there at the top as well too. And yeah, you know, the thing I will say about like the 1.5s and the retros versus the 1.5 Resto Mods is that there was 3 colorways of these released as far as I know for certain. And when they first did these retros, they released this colorway, they released a black and red one, which is like the OGs, and they released a black, pink, and like yellowish colorway. I've reviewed them on the channel, I think a couple years back. It's a part of the playlist I have on the channel right now. If you haven't checked it out, I did recently create playlists for all the Rose reviews I've done on the channel. So there's a playlist for the Rose 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, and so on, all the way up until the Rose 11s. I've yet to make a playlist for the Son of Shy reviews or for the Son of Shy 1 or 2 or 3. So none of those are in a playlist currently, but that's something I will be updating on the channel here soon. You know, my favorite thing with these colorways they did for the retros, though, was that just like this material they use across all of them was the same for the upper, which is this nicer feeling leather. And I will say that this is just a more bold color choice for these versus having some like the different color blockings. You know, I've always thought about how much I really like the 1.5, which you may not even be able to see that in frame right now, but it's the home colorway. I've thought about how much I like those. The Friezas that I reviewed this month are really dope. The NYX ones are really dope as well, but I do like it when they do a solid color like this. Like, I still think we've had a missed opportunity with having a Brenda Rose 1.5, but we could kind of argue and say that we have one in the form of like the McDonald's All-American pair, because it is a mostly red upper, you know, with, you know, some of the hits and pieces there, but it's not exactly a Brenda colorway. One of their ways too, these shoes are a little bit different from the OG releases, is that when you pull out this insole inside, there's a couple pieces that make it different. One of the main things that, you know, you have Derek's logo on it, which 1.5 OGs just had a signature because he didn't have his logo at the time. But then also this actually uses the pattern and design that's on the insoles for the Rose shoes, starting at the Rose 2.5, or sorry, the Rose 2s, and carrying on all the way up until I believe it was the Rose 8s. I think it was with the 8s that they started changing, and they didn't use the same pattern for how this is kind of like designed on the insole. But again, this isn't the exact same thickness as the original one, so it's nothing super special to write home about, but I mean, it is fine enough. I don't mind it, but I know some people really do mind that, and that's something that really does bug them. Now, this colorway, I was only able to get in a size 9.5, so it's a half size down from like I regularly wear. And people, we know, will ask me, well, you know, what size should I get in these? I still say go true to size. But what I do find is interesting is that in the retros they did, not the Resto Mods of the 1.5s, because of this nicer leather that they use on here, and the way the material just kind of stretches, I did notice that with my 1.5s in the black and red colorway, that they did stretch out a little bit after I started playing them. I had more dead room in the toe box. So I actually think that, like, if I had gone down half a size and got a 9.5 in them, that it may have been a better shoe to hoop in terms of support and lockdown versus having my foot slide a little bit within the footbed. My original first pair of Rose 1.5s was a 9.5, and I did hoop in those for a long time, but then, you know, I started playing in like the black and red colorway or like the St. Patrick's Day colorway, and those were in a size 10. And so I will say that, like, you know, all my Resto Mods I bought in size 10. I haven't regretted that, but I will say if you only could get these in like a half size down, it's worth it. I don't think it's a problem. I really do enjoy, you know, this shoe, and this colorway is super dope. I really think it's kind of crazy that there's so many different colorways of the 1.5s at this point. But I mean, you know, this is another one that just really takes the cake, similar to how the Friezas are also super great. So, you know, yeah. So let me guys know what you think down in the comment section below. Do you like this D-Rose 1.5? Is this a good retro of the shoe? Is there a colorway that you wish we would have gotten that we haven't gotten yet, that you maybe would hope to see on a pair of Resto Mods if they end up doing any more D-Rose shoes? Do they do any more Resto Mods? Yeah, so just let me know what you guys think. And so yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another one. Keep, you know, leaving the comments. Keep letting me know what you guys think down below. Hitting me up on Instagram, all those sorts of things. Appreciate the love. Thanks to everyone that tuned into the live stream yesterday. If you guys didn't watch the live stream, it is on the channel still, so you can go and watch it and, you know, kind of see what we talked about there for 2 hours. I actually showed all the shoes I'm going to review throughout the rest of the month because I realized through making the playlist that there's a handful of Rose shoes that I've had for years I've never actually reviewed. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'll see you tomorrow for another review. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.